Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Maytag dryer thermostat kit. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the instructions, the thermal fuse, and 2 high-limit thermostats. The thermostat kit contains the high-limit thermostat and the thermal fuse. The main reason you'll be changing them out is if one of them is shorted out and the dryer is not functioning. In order to get to the part, we have to open up the dryer. We're going to use a putty knife and go in about 4 inches from each corner to release the locking tab. And you can twist it and lift up on it. And we can do the other side. Once you have it released, you can lift the top up and set it back against the wall. To get the front panel off, we're going to use our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove the 2 screws that hold the front panel on. There's one on each side, so make sure you get them both off. Now that we have the screws removed, we can let the front panel come forward a little bit, and we can take the wires out of this clip right here. Once you have the wires out, we can let it lean forward a little bit more, and then we can disconnect the wires from the door switch. If you have to, you can take a screwdriver and pop them off. Sometimes they're on there a little tight. Make sure you remember where yours go, so when you put it back on, it goes in the right spot. With the wires disconnected, we can let the front panel come forward a little bit more and lift it off the mounting brackets on the bottom of the panel. Whether you're doing a gas dryer or an electric dryer, the thermal fuse and the high-limit thermostat are located up here on the top of this duct. The electric high-limit thermostat is mounted right here above the heating element, and you can take it out with a small 1/4-inch nut driver. The thermal fuse is located down on the side of the heating element, and it can be removed the same way. It's just a screw that holds it in. They do put these screws down here in a really weird spot, so make sure you use a magnetic screwdriver if you have it, and make sure you don't drop any of the screws down there. We're going to use a small screwdriver, and very carefully while we unscrew them, we're going to lift up on the thermostat so they come out together. Now that we have it out, we can very carefully lift it out and get the screws before they fall out. The other one comes out the same way. All right. Now that we have the screws out, we can take the thermal fuse and the high-limit thermostat off. You want to make sure you remember where your wires went. The blue and the tan one went on the one with the yellow dot. On the one with the pink dot, the 2 black wires, it doesn't matter what side they hook up on, but just make sure the black ones go on this one. We're going to use a small flathead screwdriver to help pop the wires off. Once you have them loose, you can pull it off. On the gas dryer, there's 2 high-limit thermostats, the one with the yellow dots. There's one up here that we just took off, and then there's one underneath the drum that we'll show you how to change in just a second. But no matter what, when you order that, you're going to get the kit. So anytime you change out the high-limit thermostat, whether it's gas or electric, make sure you change out the thermal fuse also. We can reach in on the right-hand side all the way back and grab the idler pulley. You have to lift it and pull it towards the outside of the machine. That'll release the tension on the belt so you can take it out of the pulleys. Now we can use the belt to lift and guide the drum out of the dryer. Once you have it out, you can set it aside. The other high-limit thermostat is located down on the burner tube. It's held in by 2 small Phillips screws, which you can use a screwdriver to take those out, and it has the same 2 wires on it. Whether you're changing the upper one or the lower one, they're both changed out the same way. Here's the old dryer thermostat kit next to the new ones. If you already have these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. You also want to read the instructions and make sure you follow them, because anytime your thermal fuse goes out, they want you to change the high limit thermostat. And it also tells you to check your exhaust duct, because a blown thermal fuse can be caused by a clogged vent. Now we can put the drum back in. Using the belt, we're going to lift it up and guide it back into position. Once we get it all the way in, we can set it onto the rollers. When you're putting this on, you may have to line up the drum and really push back on it to get it to sit up on the rollers. But once you get it in there, it should turn nice and smooth. When you line the belt back up, you want to make sure it's in the same spot as when you took it off, and you want to make sure that the grooves are down. Now that we have the drum in, we can reach in with our right hand, and it's a little tricky, but you have to pull the idler pulley over to the outside of the machine like when we took it off, and then route the belt through the pulleys. All right, we're going to put the one with the pink dot in first. So we're going to reconnect the wires. And then kind of hold it flat like you would lower it down in there. And we can put the screws in there. And then very carefully, so you don't drop the screws, lower it down and line it up so we can use our small Phillips screwdriver to put them back in. Now we can hook up the other one. Remember, the blue wire was on the outside. This tan wire was on the inside. All right, very carefully put these screws back in there so you don't drop them. And then we're going to use the Phillips screwdriver again to very carefully put the screws in. Once you have all the screws installed, we can put the dryer back together. To put the front panel back on, we want to swing it back in place and set it onto the brackets. Once you have it on, we can lift it up and reconnect the door switch wires. On our model, remember the 90-degree terminal went on the left side. And the straight terminal went on the right side. Then we can push the front panel up a little bit more and reconnect the wires into this little clip. Then we can push it up the rest of the way, up against the body, so we can put in the 1/4-inch screws that hold them together. Now that you have the front panel back on, we can lift the top up and set it back down into place. You want to make sure that the pins go into the holes, and then we can push it down and let the clips lock it in place. Now that we're done repairing the appliance, we can plug it back in and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by appliancepartspros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.